Hello, Bavo.
Hello,
It's good to
Linda.
see you again.
Yeah, thanks.
So for everybody watching today, we're going to be talking about some specific areas of the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. We're going to be talking about the areas that you need to really, some areas, because there's a lot of areas, some areas that you need to focus on, and the processes that you need to really pay attention to. So, Bavo, help us out here. So regarding like data register and what corporations, especially for clients in the US, corporations in the US who are like, we need to be GDPR compliant, but what do we need to do first? Because there's so much to do. What do we need to do first? Where do we start?
I would say from our experience, and I'm already a data protection officer since 2004, so a bit of experience there, is that you first have to put the stress or the efforts on the register, as you said. So it's a register of processing activities, which are activities that process the personal data. I'll give you a simple example. In your HR process, every company hires people. People want to apply for a job. That's a process already. You send in your CV. What do you do with that? And the process ends somewhere, and then it's the next step. Somebody does an evaluation, we have an interview. And so it's important in an organization, everybody has HR, marketing, CRM systems, and so on. And then, of course, their core business, which is something else, to focus on the processes that process that personal data, rather than, I would say, the personal data itself. It doesn't make sense. I think it costs a lot of money to find the last piece of personal data then try to link it to some kind of process. Maybe there is no process. Maybe you just stored it from the past. So focus on that register of processing activities, which is a legal obligation. You have to have it. When the supervisory authority comes to audit you, have to show it, show proof, show that you have a register.
Got it.
You can choose how detailed that you want it to have. And based on that register, you will automatically discover your gaps. You will see, for instance, take again the simple example, somebody sends a resume, you save it on your database. How long will we keep it?
That's right.
It's not in the law in Europe, so you can keep it 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever, but you have to decide on that. And you also have to inform the applicants about this. So I would first put the stress on the register. And a second thing that's also very important in Europe is the data processor agreements. So we, let's say, outsource a lot of processing of the personal data, whether it being a software development company, hosting company, HR services too. We have to look at the contracts we have with them and see if they contain all the elements of, it's Article 28.3 of the GDPR, so people can really check if they are doing it the right way, because you as a controller that chose that processor is in essence responsible for that choice. So you have to take care that they are doing it the right way.
So my question now is, what about for the third parties or vendors you're already in agreement with, on the contract with? What do you now do with the data processing agreement? How do you proceed with that on the GDPR?
You have to review it, and sometimes it gets funny when they say, but we already have a contract. No, it's for you as a controller. You are responsible for having that data processor agreement. So it can be that the previous or the existing contract already contains some elements, but then you have to add an addendum. And it's possible that sometimes they say, if you want this and that, you have to pay maybe for some extra services, maybe some encryption and then some extra security. But you can be sure that also your processors processing personal data have to comply with the GDPR.
And if you find out that they're not compliant with the GDPR and they don't have adequate security measures, what should the controller, the organization, what should the controller do in that situation?
A very simple solution for that. Go find another processor.
Find another processor. What if it's so you've gone so far in the project, whatever the unit to do?
But I can understand from a business continuity perspective and so on, but you are taking the risk, Article 28.1, in working with the wrong processor. So if you really know that it's not doing what it's supposed to do, then it's not the right party. And I think in a few years ago or a few months ago, there were some processors who really said, but we will not comply with the GDPR. They will run out of business. So really, and don't get me wrong, you don't have to be 100% compliant. At least you can have a roadmap to solve the issues that are still there. And if you have a documented roadmap and you put it in kind of your remediation plan, that will be fine too for the supervisory authority. So at least you show them that you know what the problems are.
So what if, for example, I'm just giving you a scenario here, what if it's a hosting company that the controller, the organization is in contract with, the hosting company is a third party, and you now discover that, based on your exploration of GDPR, that the hosting company is not compliant, but this hosting company hosts your company's website and has all this stuff going on, how would you handle that kind of situation?
Yeah, if you really insist on working with them, yeah, I would give them a hand and try to see what the gaps are and how we can improve. There really is no way around.
Right.
With the previous, so before the GDPR, we had the Directive 95/46 for the specialists. No, that gave more, put more of the responsibility along with the controller.
Okay.
Now, both the controller and the processor can be responsible, which makes a big difference. So there's no way around in saying let's work with a processor. Yeah, we're very happy with the processor, but it's not GDPR compliant.
Okay.
It's your problem as a controller towards your clients, your data subjects, your employees,
Right.
to choose the right parties to work with.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. And another thing that just came to mind as you were talking is that there are probably some people watching us right now who are saying in the organizations that, oh yeah, right, how do we know that the third party or the vendor that we work with, they probably just sign it and say they're fine, they have all this stuff, but how do we know that they're actually doing what they say they're doing?
The GDPR again thought about it. So you have a right to audit, and that's an obligation for the controller can ask the processor to audit him. It can be the controller himself, or the controller can hire an external auditing company to audit him. So you really can check the proof of the pudding to see if what we put in the contract is really there.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. So everybody pay attention. You just heard what Bavo said. He's a security, privacy, and security expert out here in Europe. I'm in Europe, okay? But I'm in the US. Anyway, let's not go there. But he is the expert. So take heed and we'll come back again. Thank you.